AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Taylor Sharp. You so. And Mr. Toby Tom play. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Buzzy Haydel, LSU Sports Radio Network, 15 minutes from right now. He'll be on the call tonight for LSU Florida Game 2. Talk a little baseball with the Buzzard a little bit later. Paul's out. Taylor's in. Wrap up the show today with Ask Us. If you're looking for Terrio, he was here in hour number 1. So you can catch the Right Radio Hour, taking it back old school, on demand. Podcast, YouTube, search After Further Review. You can get the full show. If you want just LSU content, AFR LSU. You want just Saints content, AFR Saints. Easy way, podcast, YouTube. Get it there. Shea Dixon has a report that LSU is hosting a transfer prospect this weekend. His name is Ean Ray. I hope I'm saying that correctly. E-A-N-R-H-E-A. He's from Emory and Henry. Yo, I follow sports a lot. Like, it's quite literally my job. I don't know what that is. Now, I know what Emory University is in Atlanta. I don't believe that's this. I don't think Emory plays football. It's spelled the same way, but it's Emory and Henry. You got something?
Dude, so that is a private university in Emory, Virginia.
What classification do they play?
Hold on.
NAIA?
Finding that out for you right here.
Got to be something like that.
Division II, NCAA Division II.
Okay.
South Atlantic Conference. Their mascot, the Wasp.
I'm sorry, you said WASP? Like bzzz.
Wasp. Yeah, like
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. So Emory and Henry, Division II. Thank you, Muse. Ean Ray. He has entered the transfer portal as a grad transfer, and he is visiting LSU today, Friday. 6'3", 250. This past year, had 12 sacks, 18 TFLs, and 3 forced fumbles. I get it, Division II. One of the things we talk about often, however, is there are guys who at 17, 18 years old become more developed people at 20, 21 years old. Some people at 18 look like Derek Stingley, and they can go walk on an NFL field as an 18-year-old. I mean, Derek Stingley came to LSU and was the best cornerback in college football as an 18-year-old. Some dudes, it takes a minute. It's Mansour Delane as a senior who becomes otherworldly. Maybe that's the case. I'm not saying that Ean Ray is going to become an All-American or an NFL player at all. I'm just saying that it's possible. You go spend, 3 years in Division II, you develop, you get better, maybe you're ready to take a leap. We'll see. I think this certainly speaks, one of my favorite sayings, actions speak louder than words. You can say whatever you want. Your actions tell you the truth. The fact that they're hosting cornerback and edge transfers tells you the story. With no spring portal window, you don't have an option unless if you go to a lower classification. JUCO, Division II, they can take the step up. Graduate transfers who would be eligible to transfer to you and be immediately eligible without having to go the portal route. This is a graduate transfer from Division II. Previously, they added a Levante Williams from the JUCO ranks who could step up without having to go the portal route because they're not playing in an NCAA classification. And this matters because, listen, you have an all-SEC edge from last year in Prince Willuman Mielen, and you have a former five-star in Jordan Ross. Those two are set. One of my big takeaways from spring football, though, is your depth at edge is paper thin after those two guys. It's not to say someone won't step up or can't step up. It's that you had those two guys. Gabe Reliford was going to be in the mix as well. Now, he's torn his ACL. The guy who played the most as the third edge rusher and took some reps with the ones, like when they were saying, hey, Prince Will, hey, take you and your beautiful, healthy ACLs and go stand over there and bubble wrap. Get off the field. The guy who would go in was Dylan Carpenter. Now, maybe Carpenter is one of those guys like I just talked about. He came out of Sanama. He's going into his fourth year at LSU. Hasn't played very much other than special teams. And maybe now, as a fourth-year player, he's ready to be a rotational piece. He looked good in spring at times. But other than that, it's Damian Shanklin, and you just don't have a lot of options. Kalaj Cobbins is there. You know, the asterisk, the footnote, hey, put this in bold italics, is in June, Lamar Brown's going to show up. And they're going to play him at edge, and he's a guy they're anticipating will be an immediate impact contributor. So maybe what we're talking about here is you're going to have Uman Mielen, Ross, and then next is going to be Lamar Brown and some combination of Carpenter, Shanklin, and those five are enough. You'd love to have more numbers. By the way, this was Lane Kiffin after, over at LouisianaSports.net, we were the first to report Reliford's injury. I asked him to confirm it. This was Kiffin talking about Reliford's injury after.
That's a difficult injury, really challenging for him after missing time last year. He was doing a great job. Again, kind of like the way I view that position, like receivers, if you're going to be really good, because play counts are up nowadays, and as you look at the conference, it used to be kind of fast and it slowed down a little bit offensively. If you look at like last year, there weren't really many up-tempo teams. And now you kind of have this swing back. So to me, even more than ever, to have multiple defensive ends that can rush and that can play snaps to play against that tempo, this was a significant loss for us. He has a really good future here, and we were really excited about how he was performing.
So he's telling you need numbers. And look, maybe Trenton Henderson's a freshman who was here in the spring. Maybe he can give you reps. Jalen Brown transferred in from South Carolina. He was there, obviously, with Sterling Lucas. Maybe he's someone who can factor in. What I'm telling you is going to watch every single minute of spring practice that Lane Kiffin made available to us. And I watched every minute that Lane Kiffin made available to us. You do not have a really good option today after your first two. There's bodies out there and guys who could develop and become really good players. You just don't have a very obvious, that's the guy. Like at cornerback, you've got Pickett, Woodland, and there is no question Jakeem Jackson is next. That is not even debatable. So you just don't have that at edge. So you're looking for options. And I don't know if Eon Ray is going to pick LSU. And if he does, I don't know if he can play a lick at this level. But you're looking for options. And here's a dude that's 6'3", 250, who was really productive at the Division II level last year with 12 sacks and 18 TFLs. Bring him in and see how it goes. And the options is something else Lane Kiffin talked about after spring.
I think guys have done a good job. We've moved people around a little bit. And today in our third down package with different rushers and things. And, Lamar will be here, which will help too at that spot. And so we'll just look at different options.
They're going to need those young guys, man. They're going to need Richard Anderson, Deuce Gerald's at tackle. They're going to need Lamar Brown at edge to be impact guys, at least rotational pieces that give them real meaningful snaps this year on that defensive front. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. At Relief Windows, I say it often, they're never going to be the cheapest, ever. Like if you are shopping price, like if you're going to get quotes to see who's going to give me the best price, I'm telling you right now, that's never going to be Relief Windows. It can't be. They offer a premium product. They have an exceptional staff, talented people. They measure twice, install once. They actually have a service department, like people who their job is just the service department. They're not taking people from other departments like installers to go service. They have people who all they do is service. Well, when you have that exceptional experience, you're going to pay a little more. But remember what your mama told you. You get what you pay for. With Relief Windows, that's experience, quality service. You get a premium product, a true lifetime transferable warranty on labor, material, glass breakage. It's Relief Windows. Check them out online, reliefwindows.com, reliefwindows.com. All right, y'all, glad you're hanging out with us here on this Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Hopefully the lineup drops before we get out of here. Actually, the Buzzard may have it. If he does, we'll run through it with Buzzy when he's here next. So former Tiger Buzzy Haydel will be on the call tonight on the LSU Sports Radio Network. So we'll talk to Buzzy out from the box when we come back next. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. We always tell you that if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon, get it done. It's only one of the many ways that Gordon invests in the community. I told you it was at lunch earlier today. Some of my classmates from Catholic, we had a sort of a mini reunion lunch and went over to Court to Table on Burbank, which is an awesome spot, man. The food's awesome. Ozzy Fernandez did the menu over there at Court to Table, and it's a place where you will really enjoy the food. Now, if you want to go play pickleball, go play pickleball. You want to hang out in the pickle bar, you could do that, have some drinks, TVs everywhere with every sporting event you can imagine. Awesome outdoor area the kids will love. Mom and dad, you want to go maybe have a glass of wine, let the kids run around and play in a safe environment. Court to Table's awesome. Of course, Gordon's one of the primary investors there in Court to Table. But as we always say, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Game 2, LSU, Florida, about an hour and 15 minutes away from first pitch. We're coming to you live today from the Raising Cane studio. Got old Cane hanging out with us right there. The Buzzard joins us on the JimsFirearm.net hotline. Buzzy Haydel will be on the call tonight, Game 2, LSU in Florida. Buzzy, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, Matt. Good to be on with you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it. I think it takes a little bit of humility but honesty to just acknowledge what the season is and to look ahead. I mean, Jay seems to be doing that, right? Understanding that this weekend is kind of a wash because you got to win the SEC tournament, so this is just about setting up for next week. I mean, I know he's sort of alluded to that. Is that basically what you're seeing?
Yeah, it is, and it's it's not that you're giving up on the season or anything like that. It's just, I mean, truly he believes, and I think he's right, that the only way once they did what they did in Georgia, the only way they can win is or get into the NCAA tournament is to win the SEC tournament. So. Yeah, they're saving Schmidt, they're saving Carson Evans, they're saving all those guys for, when they're going to need them, which is next week, and they're going to need a lot of guys other than those two, but they're going to have to win, game 1 before anything else. So it's tough because when you see LSU Florida last weekend of the series, that typically in years past means a great weekend series, 2 powerhouse programs. Usually playing for something at the end of the year, and only one of them is really playing for it right now this weekend.
So, Buzzy, with that being the case, in the eye on next week, what do you want to see tonight in Game 2 and Saturday in Game 3?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think we saw a little bit last night. I mean, and this is no knock on anybody that's coming in. I mean, when I talk on radio, I don't mention this a lot, but the truth of the matter is I was part of 2 really not great baseball teams at LSU myself, my freshman and sophomore year. So I know what it's like to struggle. I
was going to get to that, Buzzy, actually.
Oh, well, I know what it's like to struggle. So it's now we turned it around and did some nice things.
Yeah.
So it's always good to do that. But you want to see guys that come in that maybe didn't get a lot of opportunity. You saw it with Reagan Ricken, who came in, who, man, he looks like $1 million. He's 6'5", he's big, he throws 1,000,000 miles an hour. And he comes in yesterday and he does a nice job, throws over, I think 4 1/3 innings. He gave up a couple runs, but I mean, he really, after that big first inning, settled down and kept LSU from absolutely getting blown out and giving them a chance to have their offense get them back in it. So I think you want to see guys that maybe hadn't done it, particularly from the pitching staff, come in, get opportunities in a big, even though it's really not for anything, it's in a big-time situation, a SEC weekend against, a top whatever team that Florida is, top 10 team in Florida, and have them perform, because I say this all the time on radio, you cannot get that experience anywhere else but doing it on the mound with people in the stands. You can't do it in practice. You can try to simulate it as much as you want with inter squads. You could try to simulate it with one-on-ones with a pitcher throwing to you in the box. You cannot get that experience that you get. You have to do it in real game-like situations. And Florida has a bunch of those guys, by the way, that have done it, and they're doing it this weekend. But that's what you want to see today. Again, you're not going to see the guy. You're not going to see the William Schmitz, the Cason Evans. You'll see some of the bullpen guys. I think you'll see Guidry and all those guys. But you're not. They're going to give guys opportunity to get the experience that they might otherwise not get.
By the way, what did you like? What was different for Ricken last night that was working so well? Let him give you 4 innings.
We sound like a broken record. He threw the ball over the plate, Matt.
Yeah.
I don't have the stats in front of me. I know it did the guy. I think it was no walks. I don't think he walked anybody. I think he hit maybe one guy and that actually run it, and then ended up scoring the hit by pitch. But he was throwing the ball over the plate, and he had really good command of the slider. I mean, that was the other thing that I noticed. And I think, without being too critical, I mean, it's hard to be critical of, Nate Yeskie, of what he's done over these last few years, or anybody on this coaching staff. So this is not a coaching staff criticism. But I think you could take a page out of Florida's book, especially Aiden King last night. I mean, he attacked with fastballs. I mean, he didn't mess around. He'd throw the slider in there, and he'd show you different pitches, and he's got good all-speed pitches. But, it was a fastball-first mindset, and I think LSU needs to do that. Now, if you can't throw the fastball for strikes, it doesn't matter. But I think LSU gets a little too all-speed happy, especially with guys. You look at that scouting report for LSU, just like Florida's, everybody throws 95 to 98 miles an hour. Attack with the fastball. It's got to be for a strike, obviously, but that's what Ricken did yesterday, and he had real good control of his slider.
Buzzy Haydel is our guest. So, Buzz, you mentioned, and for those that don't remember, Buzz, his first 2 years was Smokes last year and Paul Maneri's first year, where you'll miss the postseason in back-to-back
Correct.
seasons. And then 08, you were in Omaha, and 09, of course, you finished your career winning a national championship. So it worked out. Do you see similarities with this team in either the 06 or 07 teams?
Man, that's a good question. A little bit, just the fact that everything that can go wrong goes wrong. I mean, I'm not. We all got to look at ourselves in the mirror, and I think we had good play. I mean, Charlie Furbush was our Friday night guy in 07 and made it to the big leagues and was like 3-9 at LSU because we didn't get him the offensive support. I mean, Jared Bradford was one of the better pitchers that had come through LSU during that time, and he was on that team. I mean, we had some really good players, a little bit of similarity of they definitely need some upgrades on this team. I mean, you don't need to revamp the whole lineup, you don't need to revamp the whole pitching staff, but you definitely need an influx of new guys that can do it and do it on a high level. So there are some similarities. I mean, look, it's funny. You look at the 06 team, Matt. Now, we were 13-17 that year. Well, I mean, if you talk to all the experts, 13 and 17 get you in nowadays.
Yep.
In 07, as tough of a season as it was, I mean, I think we were 12, 17 and 1. By the way, I don't know that LSU's ever tied a game other than the 2 years I was there. We tied a game in 07 and we tied a game in 08.
Well, 08 was Georgia. That was before the streak started.
That's right. Georgia in 08, and I didn't realize this. I was looking at some old stuff. It was Kentucky in 07. So, just crazy stuff. But no, there's some similarities, meaning that there's really good players on both those teams. They had moments of good. All right. I mean, I remember in 07, we went on the road to Mississippi State ranked, on the road to Arkansas ranked, on the road to Alabama ranked, and won all three of those series. We beat Ole Miss at home, a series win, who was ranked. Obviously we had a lot of losses as well, but we had some moments that were good, just not enough of them, and that's what you see from LSU. Just not enough, just not consistent enough, and so you gotta learn from it. And next year, my guess is Jay Johnson's going to figure it out and get the right guys, the right combination of guys with the guys that are already here.
Yeah. What changed to go from that to College World Series to a national championship in 2 years. I think what's interesting, Buzz, it shows like how quickly it can turn around.
Yep.
Just as easy as you went from national championship to out of the postseason, it can quickly turn around the other way. What do you think will be the emphasis and the focus for Jay this offseason?
Yeah, I think it's pitching. I mean, and I was just thinking about it. I'm like, where did this season, how did it get to where we are? What, just all the questions you have, right? And I'm not saying it's like the greatest offense I've ever seen in my life, but the offense is good enough to win, and the offense was good enough to get this team into postseason play. It was pitching, and I mean, if you look at every box score of every game. And I didn't even do this, Matt, but I mean, like, it would be a great project for somebody that wants to do it. Go look, if our starting pitcher never gave us 4 or 5 innings, how many games did we win in that time? I mean, like, we just don't – the starters aren't getting deep enough in the games. That'd be great if your bullpen was lights out, but they're just not. So it starts with pitching. I mean, you look at last year, why were we so good? The offense was good. I don't know that the offense was so much better than this offense. You obviously had Jared Jones that hit balls out of the ballpark, and Hernandez did some nice things. And you had different pieces, but you had Kate Anderson and Anthony Ianson. I mean, that was the two main differences. And you could keep Cason Evans in the bullpen, who was obviously a lot better than he is starting. So it's dominant pitching and dominant starting pitching at that, and that's what they got to get back to. And you look at any team that LSU's, any national championship team, you're going to have dominant pitching. I mean, I don't have to go through them all. You know that from the years you've watched him, Matt. Yeah. So that's what's got to change. Offense was good enough. Sure, you'd like to see more homers. Sure, you'd like to see more runs, but it's got to change on the mound.
Hey, Buzz, I don't know. Have you had a chance to talk to Jay? What's he hoping to get out of Paz tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got. Look, against South Carolina, he went. He went 5 innings. Against Georgia, he didn't. Nobody had a good outing against Georgia.
Right.
But Paz is looking. Yeah, he's looking to get deep into the game because. Again, if it's a situation where he only gives you an inning and a third or 2 1/3, and you got to get to that bullpen, which we're not confident in, and again, that's not knocking anybody. That's just facts. It's going to be another long day against Florida today because you're facing a guy that was the Friday night guy all last year, was the Friday night guy all year this year until about a month ago, and throws 1,000,000 miles an hour and is. It could be a long day again for LSU if they don't get a nice outing out of Paz. And that's not to put all this pressure on the young man, but that's what's got to happen. He's got to throw 4 or 5 innings and pass the baton off, and hopefully it's a 1 or 2 run game, and maybe a little bit of LSU Alex Box magic will come to the box, and we can win this game late. Would love to see it. Buzz will be on the call, the LSU Sports Radio Network, of course, as our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Pre-game here in about 33 minutes. First pitch about a little more than an hour away with the Tigers and the Gators. Buzz, we appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yep, appreciate you having me. Thanks, Matt.
It's our pleasure. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. When we get done the show here, I'm going to walk out in the parking lot, get behind the wheel of my Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport, drive over to the box, watch Game 2, hopefully watch the Tigers get a win, and then I'll take it to the house. But, I'll tell you, every time I sit in my car, I have the peace of mind knowing I'm driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. I bring Drew to school every morning, and every day when I strap him into his car seat, I have tremendous peace of mind knowing that we're safe on the road in one of the safest vehicles. 9 different IIHS top safety picks when you're talking about Volkswagen models, so vehicles that are safe but that are stylish and fun to drive. Manufactured in the U.S. of A. at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. Oh, did I mention affordable as well? Get on by and make you a deal at South Point Volkswagen. You worry out your financing on the website. You do it all right there. SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. If it's on the lot, it's online at SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? I would appreciate the buzzard for a few minutes there. I would love to see the Tigers go out and get a couple of wins this weekend. It's not, it's not going to matter in terms of the postseason, but you would love to see them finish strong at home, and they're capable. Look, they went out yesterday in a game that Florida threw Aiden King out there, and the Tigers chased Aiden King in the 6th and got eight hits off of him, which was a season high that he had allowed. And this is an offense that's capable, kind of as Buzz was talking about there. Like this this LSU offense we have seen is certainly capable of producing. They've done it for the last month consistently. Can you get the pitching to complement it? And this is a Florida offense that they put up 11 runs last night on sort of a whole staff day. But this is a Florida offense that came in with 11th, 12th in the league in team batting average, right around 270. This isn't Georgia. I mean, this is an offense that from Florida that if Paz gets going, can certainly suppress and keep you in the game. See if the Tigers can go out and have a strong outing tonight, see if they can get a win. By the way, Jake Hester, noted Gator hater. Is he going to make it? Taylor?
I actually just got a text.
Okay.
He has an ETA of 5:58, so
Let's go.
he should slide in.
Let's go, 18. So Jake is, look, I mean, you want to bring some good vibes to an LSU-Florida matchup. You bring 18 out there and put him on the bump.
Some juice right here. This is what they need.
Let's go. Let's go. Does he have a jersey?
He's supposed to be given one
Jersey,
as he's walking in.
Fitted cap. Put some spikes on my guy. I'm with the whole 9.
Does he go glove? I didn't ask him that this week. We've talked about this a lot. I didn't ask him if he's going to go glove, though.
I don't know. I know he's toeing the rubber. He said, I ain't taking a shortcut. I'm toeing the rubber.
If he didn't,
Right.
I would mock him to his face.
You would have to.
Not that he would care, but I would. I mean, only people that are allowed to throw out a first pitch and not toe the rubber are elderly,
Yes.
disabled.
Yes.
I would say maybe ladies that aren't capable of reaching home plate. Like,
Yes.
If you want to get it there.
Like the darn athletes, yeah.
Yeah. Or a kid. Like if you're
Yes.
if you're 6 years old, you're throwing and you're not. I mean, you want to go up to the bump and make it happen. But you know what I mean. Like you're not physically. If you're physically able, that's a better way to say it. If you're physically able, you got to toe the rubber. Now we'll say I threw out the first pitch in 2010. It was LSU against UL Lafayette.
Hey.
It was the early days of 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Our promotions department, we had a promotions director at the time, made me a custom jersey. I think it said it was a white jersey, purple ESPN across the front. The number on the back was 104.5.
Makes sense.
Had my name, Moscona, all that stuff. And by the way, the picture, the video of this is on YouTube. Hang on. Or see if you can find it for me.
Yep.
Just search let me see if I can find it. Matt Moscona. Matt Moscona first pitch LSU. Let's see if this pops up. It should just search Matt Moscona first pitch LSU. There it is.
There we go, right there.
So here we go. You asked glove.
You went glove.
And I'll tell you a little story here. Hang on, I'll start it over. There's the jersey I referenced. Look at me with hair.
The hair.
The hair. Boom. Hummed it in there. I told Hannah Griff before, and Hanny was doing color on the broadcast at the time, so this is me. I look at him right there. Like he was pointing at me laughing. Because the thing I said was, the one thing that will not happen, I pitched when I was younger, all the way up to high school. There was no way this was bouncing. There was just no shot. I said, I will airmail this to the back of the screen before I bounce it.
That is that is the mindset.
So you could see it was a bit high. And I told the catcher in 2010 was LSU's bullpen catcher that year, Mason Katz. So before the game, which is right.
He went on to some better things.
Turned out okay for Mason Katz.
It worked.
So before the game, I'm like, hey, they're like, Maneri was like, hey, well, look, I said, Coach, I want to throw a little bit before, just at least loosen up a little bit. Because like I'm gonna let it fly. Like this isn't gonna be any, short arm lob. Like I'm gonna get up there and I'm gonna throw it. And so Mason and I are just playing catch in front of the dugout. So he had a catcher's mitt and a glove. So I am wearing Mason Katz's infielder's glove. That's the glove I had on the mound. And there's something else maybe notable about that.
I thought that might have been your glove.
No, not my glove.
Okay.
I knew I was going glove. Yeah. I just needed a glove.
A glove. Yeah,
So Mason and I were throwing. We're out. I'm he and I were standing in front of the dugout. I'm breaking out, like just snapping curves and throwing knuckleballs. One of those.
This here.
Up here, down here. Threw a few knuckleballs at him. It was a good experience, man. So, all right, Hester, 18. Let's get some 18 mojo out there on the bump. So anyway, to finish that story, Jake was at his son Memphis had a game tonight in Zachary, right? Or this afternoon?
Yep.
So he had to haul it from Zachary to get to the box in time for the first pitch. Right, man?
You know, the good news is you never encounter any traffic going from Zachary to Baton Rouge. It doesn't happen.
He said the ETA is 5:58.
No, but that's the good news, right?
Yeah.
So we're all thinking the same thing, but it's one of those things you just don't say it out loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So drive safely, arrive on time. If you're going to the game, get there a few minutes early. Give a big raucous applause for old 18. All right, it's after further review. Let's take a quick break. We'll continue AFR.
After further review.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions over at Glow Resources. Remember, Glow Resources, the thing they help you do is find the best people, permanent solutions for that job that you have to fill. What job? Doesn't matter what job. Glow Resources, they cast their net far and wide, their network, to find you the best people for whatever job you need to fill. They handle everything. You know, over the course of a year, in a given day, they'll interview about 50 people in a given day, which is crazy to think. So over the course of a year, you're talking about 15,000 interviews that they do. They become experts at knowing the questions to ask, what boxes they need to check to find the right people for the job that you're trying to fill. It doesn't matter if it's skilled blue-collar labor. Their professional placement division can find you any office job, from office assistants all the way up to the C-suite, and they handle everything at Glow Resources. Check them out online. GLO, glowresources.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
We're going to wrap up the show today with a little Ask Us. Get your questions in, email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Me, Taylor, Muse, get your questions in. We'll do that coming up to wrap up the show here in just a little bit. No Otter Locks on Friday. And if you're missing Terrio, he was here in hour number 1. So Terrio is doing a cool thing tonight. He put up an auction item at my son's school over at St. Lillian Academy. It was a Alec Box Stadium tour, pregame batting practice, all that sort of stuff, tickets to the game. So I'll be joining him for the game here after this, but that's why he's not here right now. So we appreciate that. Lineup is posted for LSU and Florida, and there are some curious decisions and changes. So Mason Braun is going to lead off, as he has been doing, but he's going to play right field today. Now, Jay mentioned that William Patrick was sick, so yesterday Stanfield started in right, and it was Reeves in left. So a little bit of a change here because Stanfield will go to left, and so Braun will start in right. So that obviously creates a little bit of a, what do you do at first base? Well, they made a curious decision there. So Braun will lead off and play in right. Cerna will catch and bat second. Derek Curiel play center and bat third. Aaron Beatty DHs tonight. He's in the cleanup spot, followed by Milam, who's batting fifth and playing short. And then Seth Dardar will play first and bat sixth. This is the first time Dardar's played first base this year. Yes, but you said he played at K-State, Muse?
Yeah, he's spent the majority of his time at Kansas State either at first base or second base.
So good that he's got experience there. And look, I mean, you could have gone York if you needed a first baseman, but they're choosing Dardar over York. What?
I was going to say, I thought Dardar got in at first against Georgia.
Look that up.
I'll check it.
I'll keep going. Look that up. So Dardar batting sixth, playing first. And then the bottom third, Stanfield, as we mentioned, in left. He'll bat seventh. Ruckert will bat eighth and play second. And then Braden Simpson will bat ninth and play third. So he replaces John Pearson. That's a little curious to me as well. What you got?
Dardar did. He started game 3 at Georgia at first base.
Okay, so he's played. He's played here recently at third base or at first base. So Dardar plays first and bats sixth tonight. Simpson in for Pearson is a little curious. Maybe this just Jay, in the final weekend, getting some of the older guys in. That's all I can think of. If you got something else.
No, I mean,
if you have an opinion.
I don't have anything else to add. I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, Simpson got a pinch hit at bat last night. It's tough. It's been tough for him all year. I mean, I thought John took a few good at bats. I mean, the double stood out last night for him. So,
bro, he roped a double. I mean, he it was an RBI double. No, it wasn't an RBI.
Leadoff.
It was the leadoff. He pumped it into the gap. I mean, it was a beautiful swing. So, anyway, Braun, Cerna, Curiel, Aaron Beatty, what?
It's just, I mean, it's,
whatever.
It's May 5th. I mean, it's just like, God, man.
We should be talking about more meaningful things.
I know.
And it's very uncomfortable because it's not what we're used to in the middle of May here. We're used to a fever pitch on a Friday night, final weekend at the box, LSU, Florida. This should be for something, and it is not. They are playing out the string these next 2 days. They're going to go to Hoover and try to win the SEC tournament, which they won't, but they're giving themselves the best opportunity to take a swing and go after it. So what do you look for? You look for the young guys to keep performing well. You got a really good opportunity offensively tonight. You got a freshman, Marcos Paz, who's going to get to make another SEC start. You know, we talked about this with Buzz, who was here a bit ago, and I'm glad he brought it up. I was going to ask him anyway. He brought it up. But those two teams that he was on at the beginning of his career in 06 and 07 were bad teams that had some talented players, but the benefit is, like what he said, you had a guy like Jared Bradford who was, I mean, we're going back almost 20 years now, but it's weird to think that. But Jared Bradford was like the heart of the 08 team that made the run to Omaha on that 23-game winning streak. He became an invaluable piece for that team. And he got a ton of experience in those down years. So you would hope tonight, like next year, if Marcos Paz is in the rotation, whenever LSU goes and plays a weekend on the road, it won't be the first time he starts on the road in the SEC. We've seen him do it. He'll know what to expect. It's like anything else in life. The more you do something, the more comfortable you get doing that thing. That thing, literally anything from, remember the first time, like when you were going through driver's ed and the first time you sat behind the wheel, like, I don't know if y'all had this, but there was the driver's instructor and she had her own brake. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you go to Stop and Go as well?
No, Trinity.
Okay. I don't know what that is. But anyway, like I still remember vividly, I roll stopped at a stop sign. She's like, slam the brake. I'm like, lady, what do you think? There's nothing coming. We're good. Letter of the law, whatever. But the point is, the first time you drive, you're still figuring it out. The more now, you're like, now we don't even pay it. Now we text while we drive. We're not even paying attention to the road.
You brought this up, and literally last night I'm in a parking lot, and I just maneuver and weave my way through the parking lot. And I'm like, just do that without even thinking now.
Cutting through the lines, you're not supposed to.
Like it's just like you just
go. But that's the point. It's like the more you do something, the more familiar you are, the more comfortable you are, the more your natural ability takes over. So from a guy like Paz, this is all great experience. It sucks that it has come at this expense, but it will be great for him next year and moving forward. And for Braun and for Cerna and for Jack Ruckert getting all the experience that he has this year. So yes, I'm here for it. As brutal as it's been to watch, you're looking for what the benefit of this experience will be, and hopefully that's it moving forward. So anyway, lineups posted, Tigers and Gators tonight. We're about 45 minutes away from first pitch out at the box. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break, come back. Taylor, Muse, and I will do Ask Us. Anything you want to ask, fire away in lieu of Ask Terrio or Ask Ryan. Ask Us. We'll do that to wrap up next. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Renaissance Baton Rouge, gorgeous, sprawling, beautiful hotel right there on Bluebonnet, as they call it, Southtown, across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row. And look, that's where LSU, it has been LSU's home away from home on football Fridays for home games. And if they can host the LSU football team before home games, like the entire football program, they can host your event. Like when LSU football goes in there, the grand ballroom would be where they have like team meetings and team meals. All of the other rooms, they could like partition them off for individual position group meetings. They cater to basically move football operations into Renaissance Baton Rouge. So if it's your wedding reception, a fundraiser, an awards banquet, any type of conference, Renaissance Baton Rouge would love to host you. Call Allison Crump, the events coordinator over at Renaissance Baton Rouge, right there on Bluebonnets. Renaissance Baton Rouge. Congratulations are in order to my friends at River Parish Contractors. Just last night, River Parish Contractors was awarded the Gulf Coast Safety Council Safety Excellence Award. And that's because at River Parish Contractors, they say we build more than projects. We build a culture of safety. It's River Parish Contractors. You know this much. You don't get hired to do work inside the fence if you don't have an exemplary safety record. River Parish Contractors, what says it more than that? The Gulf Coast Safety Council Safety Excellence Award to River Parish Contractors. If you're hiring or if you're looking for work, River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake or check them out online at rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com. They got overtime, day and night shifts, no rainouts. rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Thanks to Taylor for hanging out today, pulling double duty morning and afternoon while Paul's out. Paul's out again on Monday, I believe. He's back Tuesday. Next Friday, I'm wheels up to Arizona. So I'm going to go play. Did this last year when I went to Boston with my brother-in-law and my nephew.
I do, yes.
So doing that trip again, but we're going to Arizona. So we'll do Diamondbacks game, and we're going to play golf at TPC in Scottsdale.
Oh, nice.
So where they have the waste management.
That's going to be a lot of fun, man.
I have not played a round of golf in quite literally years because of my back. So I have been using the last probably 6 weeks air quotes training to be able to go to make it through a round of golf with my back. So shout out to Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. She's awesome. Been seeing Crystal for 8 years. I mean, if you have pain, trust me, like book a session with Crystal Poche. But I've gone every Friday for like the last 6 weeks, just working through to get me in a position where I feel like I'm ready to go. So went out to the driving range last Sunday, hit about 50 balls.
That was going to be my question.
Even opened it up with the driver. Normally when I swing, I'm just swinging short irons and putting and all, chip putt, maybe a wedge, but opened it up, man. Was hitting the fairway wood, the driver. Felt pretty good, man. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to score worth a darn. But,
well, I mean.
Right. I mean.
That's not what it's about, man.
It's definitely not. Good thing that's not what it's about, because I am not going to score worth a darn on that course.
Tour here.
That's true, but I'm going to have a good time. Looking forward to it. All right, let's get to Ask Us. Email us, tweet us, or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. John said, how are the NFL bye weeks determined? Well, the one thing we do know is that teams have the option to request the bye after an international game. But the byes don't start until week 5. So the Saints clearly wanted to take their bye in week 8. So it's actually positioned pretty well for New Orleans. Let's see. Eric Gautreaux, ask us, who's been the most disappointing LSU baseball player this year? Muse, you want to call somebody out?
Not particularly, but I mean, you got plenty to pick from, man. I mean, it hasn't been the season. I'm not gonna say disappointment, but it hasn't been the season you've wanted from the transfers, right? It hasn't been the season.
It's hard to call out someone by name.
Hasn't been the season.
No one's out there trying to do badly.
Exactly.
And it just hasn't worked. I think we all know. We've talked about it. That York, Simpson, Dardar, Caraway, the transfers just gave you nothing. They gave you nothing. So you got a lot of investment there. It didn't work out. That's a disappointment. Would have loved to have seen Case and Evans be.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Would have loved to see Case and Evans be Kate Anderson. I think we realize you see a year like this, how improbable what Kate Anderson did last year was.
Outlier.
We feel like, hey, is he the next? That's what we feel like. Hey, is he the next Joe Burrow? No, there is not a next Joe Burrow. Just be grateful you got to watch it once in your life. Hey, is he the next Paul Skeens? No.
Paul Skeens is getting better.
I know.
Like what?
He wasn't Paul Skeens when he showed up here.
I know.
It's funny when I hear these people like, oh, the money of the game Skeens. Like, Paul Skeens got a pittance to come here from Air Force. NIL wasn't NIL at that time, certainly not for baseball. And Skeens wasn't Skeens. He was a good pitcher. He was a two-way guy. He came here and developed under Wes Johnson when he stopped running with a rucksack on and like training for the military and just focused on baseball. Anyway. Ask us Saints game you're most looking forward to this upcoming season. Taylor, you don't get to answer. You're not a Saints fan. Oh, you can answer. I'm kidding. Go.
Probably week 1 at Detroit.
Muse?
Dude, I'm fired up for the stretch with the Bengals and
at Chicago.
Yes, and the Bears. Yes,
and then they're home against Green Bay. It's the toughest. Toughest stretch of the schedule, no doubt. I'll go week 3 against the Raiders because I think it's the first game they're going to win. Richard, ask AFR thoughts on the helmet stickers in college baseball. Notice Tulane had them a few weeks ago.
Oh God, they're horrible. What are we doing? That is so bad, man.
Poor Muse.
No, that's awful. You know me. I'm a uniform guy, and that's just leave that. I don't even like them in football for what it's worth either, especially if you have a primary logo on your helmet.
Like Ohio State with the Buckeyes, I can get down with that.
Yes, I get down with that. But Florida State, no, stop. What are you doing?
I'm okay with the little tomahawk.
No, hate it.
We had skulls at Catholic, skull and crossbones. You got a big hit, you got a skull. Yeah. It was a skull list. Every Monday after the game, the coaches would watch the film. You come in Monday, you'd have a skull list. You go and get your skulls. Skull. Let's see. Oh, there was another one. I'm out of time. All right, it's after further reads. It's going to do it for us. Muse, Taylor, thanks. Go Tigers, heading out to the box. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday at 3. Be safe, everybody.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Schedule that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson. I know that it's Friday at 5:56 right now, and most people are thinking about the weekend, but here's what I would challenge you to do. You got a minute, just pull up the website, williamsoneye.com, williamsoneye.com, and just schedule that consultation on the homepage. If you've ever thought, and one of the most rewarding things that I get to hear from those of you over the many years that I've endorsed the Williamson Eye Center, it's been almost a decade now, one of the most rewarding things is when you reach out to me and say, Matt, for years I put it off. I was scared of the laser, didn't know if I could afford it, whatever the objection was, told I wasn't a candidate. You finally pushed me. I made the call. It's the best decision I made. I love hearing that. So change your life. Schedule the consultation at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020.